Okay, good evening to you all. Today is our day one of this basics computer training, which we are going to take for 3 weeks. Like I told you, this training is going to be for beginners from the beginning till where you are going to, I think, be ready to at least work with a computer. And I'll remind you, already I posted some things in the group, which I believe most of you have read them. So if you have any question, you can write your question, jot it down, because during these first 40 minutes, we are not going to treat any question. Is when we resume. If we are not yet with the with our slides, then we complete the slides and then I respond to all your questions. So if you have your questions, save your question when we resume. After that is 9:45, then you can drop all your questions in the chat and I will respond to each and every question that you have. So today is our day one, and like I always did my presentation, I start with the outlines of what we are to cover for the day. So every day we'll have our outlines from day one up to the end of where we're going to stop, because the program is for 3 weeks and it's going to go to be held always between Sunday to Thursday. That is from 11th of this February till 29th. That's when we are going to finish the program. So every day we'll have our outlines and we'll cover our outlines every day. We'll cover whatever we said we're going to cover, we'll cover it. So first of all, we'll have a brief overview on about the training. I'll talk about that. That's the first thing on our outlines. Then we'll talk about what is computer. So this is all something that I believe you know it, but we'll discuss it also. Then how computer works. This is something that I will tell you. I will explain that to you. You will hear it from me today, and you will know how computer works, because I want our people to know how computer works, because most of the people thinks computer can do some things which it cannot. So if you understand how computer operates and how computer works, you will not be saying things out of what computer can do. You understand how computer works and you will say whatever computer can do. Maybe you will like someone to do what computer can do. And we'll talk about what made up of a computer. We'll talk about that. Then we'll talk about hardware and software. We'll talk about types of software, input and output. Then we'll have a conclusion for the day. Though, yeah, we'll have a Q&A session. I didn't put it, but of course, we'll have a question and answer after that. Then we move from there. So let's start. So about the training, let's start from the first item about the training. Like I said, this training is a beginner training. It's a training that I'm going to take people through the basics of computer skills that you need to have in you, which from there you can take any profession or any career you want and move ahead with whatever you want to learn. Because I'm tired of seeing people, someone will tell you that, of course, I want to learn software development or data analytics, while that particular person has no basics of computer whatsoever. So it is very, very difficult for you to start teaching someone with such a background. So, but if you have the basics, computer skills that everyone should have had in him, if you have that, believe me, you can learn whatever you want to learn, and it will be very easy for you to learn whatever you want to learn, since you already have the foundation, which is a bedrock of you learning any profession you want to learn in computer. I can't be teaching you software development or data analytics, and you are asking me how to put how to put underscore, how to put forward slash, backslash. You don't know all that. You don't know controls and whatever. Believe me, I'll waste my time. You waste your time. At the end of the program, everyone will go home with empty head. So this is why I'm holding this training, and it's something that in Nigeria, I realized that whenever you want to train people on computer, please start with the basics. No matter what they told you about it, start with the basics. In my company, we're having a lot of interns, and all of them from UG2, UG4, believe me, most of them have no basics of computer, but they will tell you that they are learning Python, they are learning C#, they are learning all this. But when it comes to the basics of the computer, they don't have such. And that way, whatever they learn, believe me, they will forget it, and it will not even serve any purpose to their life since they fail to have the basics foundation they're supposed to when it comes to computer. And some people feel that they are big enough to learn the basics, but believe me that the backbone of it, if you fail to have it, it will definitely affect your learning. It will affect whatever you are going to learn. So that's why we are going to have this training. Like it will help a lot, and I will take you through a lot. You will learn a lot about the basic, which I believe when we are done with the class, you can go ahead and take any profession you want to learn in computer, and it will help you to move forward and to have it. And one thing again, to have a basics computer skills is like it's unbecoming to everyone. Even if you are expert in a particular profession, it is unbecoming to you not to have the basics computer, because everyone in the within the community, or everyone that knows you in computer, or knows that you are into computer something, will not even believe it when you said you don't know other things. You will not believe it. That way, when you are into computer, someone, his computer will have some issues, he will just come to you. Please, my computer has this, my computer has that, my computer has this. You must know how to rectify such. You must learn how to do, at least how to troubleshoot all such problem to that person, because it is unbecoming. You are a software developer, but you don't know how to rectify issue to someone who is not into anything in computer. He asks you, so it's something that you need to learn it. And even if you found yourself working somewhere as a maybe whatever position you are in, once you are the computer guy within the organization or within the company, their belief is that you know all these basics. So if you don't know all these basics, believe me, they will lose interest in you, and you will find it very difficult to belong to that organization or company. So this is about this training, and I believe you will open your mind and learn what we are going to discuss throughout this training. Then the next thing we are going to discuss is what is computer. That's what we are going to discuss about. What is computer? Please, can you all hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. Someone said you can't hear. Okay, I think it's from his side. Okay, so what is computer? That's what we are going to discuss about. What is computer? So I will give you this opportunity to say, how do you define computer in your own language? How do you think computer? What do you expect computer to be? I'm not going to say computer is this. I'm not going to say that, but let me hear it from you in the chat. Please drop something. How do you think computer? How do you define computer? How do you define it? Please, someone should just drop something so that we move in time. How do you define computer? It's a question to all of you. How do you define computer? Yeah, I believe you are all typing. Yes, please drop your comment. Let me just read it out. Computer is electronic device that input data, process it, and output result. This, like, you look into my mind about what is computer. Believe me, that's great. That's great. And in my slide, I will talk about all this that you just said. I will talk about that. But of course, let's hear from someone again. Thank you, Musa. The computer is a machine that access. Okay, let's stop there. I think let's not have a lot of definition. Let's stop there. It's a machine that accepts information, data, process the data, and gives results or output. Yes. It's an electronic device that accepts data, store it, process it, and provide the out. I think it's output you want to write. It's a simple electronic device. Please, I can't hear anything. What can I do to improve my audio? Please, someone should help him to improve his audio. Thanks much. I have done. Okay, computer is an electronic device which accepts data, process it, and give a result as output. Computer is an electronic device that are capable of accepting as an output. Okay, yeah, you all say it. Okay, so let's stop there and I'll talk about that. So what the first person said, computer is an electronic device that input data. Okay, let me go to, there is one that put, okay, that accepts information. Yes, I will take that one. Okay, it's an electronic device that accepts information as an input. Of course, yeah, someone say it. Process it. That is to process the information, and gives out result as an output, or give out result. What did he say again? Yeah, an output result. Of course, all your definitions are kind of correct. So let me talk about this before we move on. You see, any information you are hearing when you are dealing with computer, we are discussing about data. Whenever you hear about data, we are talking about information. To computer, every information is a data. Every piece of information is a data, and that data can be in a format, in any format. It can be in any format, being it a picture, being it a audio, a video, whatever it is a data to computer, and computer will accept that data, process that data, and output that data as whatever result you want it to be. So this is computer. I just want to lay an emphasis on the issue that it's one person that said machine and someone said device. There is this issue between is computer a machine or it is a device? There are things related to that, and of course, if we are to look deeply into it, it even as it is nowadays, we will believe that it is a device, not like a per se machine, the way some people think it is. Because if you just want to differentiate between being it a machine and a device, is when you look at I'll just give an example at the grinding machine. You know how grinding machine is. So you can't call it a computer, even though it grinds all the what you want it to grind for you, the maize, the coin, and whatever you want it to grind for you. So grinding machine, you can't call it a computer, even though it's a machine and others. And all the machines that we are using, we can call it the car that you are using, the motorcycles we are using. You can't call them computer. But when computer was input in them, nowadays when we have a self-driving car, they can become a device, not a machine per se, the way it is in machine. So you need to understand the difference between being it a device and a machine. Like we have it in Hausa, of course, when you have a machine, it's machine, device is Na'ura. So computer is Na'ura, is a device, not a machine per se. So that's how it is. So that's what I just want to lay emphasis on. But all what you said, a computer is an electronic device that accepts data, process the data, and give out the result or output of that data. You are correct. You said it right. And that's what computer is all about. And I said, when you hear data or when you hear data, it's information. When you hear information, is data. So that's what you need to understand in this. So let's talk about how computer works, how computer operates. I want to talk about this. I just put this picture. You look at it, you'll see there is binary in the picture. I'm not going too deep into binary and how it all comes to being, but let me say this to you. You'll take note on this. The only thing that computer understand is 0 and 1. That's the only thing that computer understand. What we are seeing, computer is seeing 0 and 1. What we are seeing is different from what computer is seeing. That's one thing that you need to understand. So any visual that we are seeing, computer is translating that visual to us as 0 and 1, because computer is already programmed on that. And that's why when we put any, or we give it any information, it interprets that information to us, and we are seeing it as something. For example, now if I write Ahmad, in binary, Ahmad is a long 0011 whatever. It's going to carry a long 0 and 1 and whatever. That's how the name Ahmad will come into being. And also the images we are seeing, all the pictures we are seeing, all of them that we are seeing, computer is only seeing 0 and 1. But of course, how it operates, it's electronic. Always computer is electronic. So that way, if that electronic feature is out in computer will not operate. That's one thing about computer. And I heard that when they created, there is this machine, artificial intelligence they created, they hired someone that will stay, I think it's plugin manager or something like that, officer, someone that will stay in the room. When the artificial intelligence is going out of the hand, the person will just unplug it from the electric. You just plug the socket and that artificial intelligence or machine learning will stop working on it on. So it's electronic. Once there is no that electronic, that feature is no longer, it will not operate. That one thing about it. So sometimes you will not understand how the maybe what type of battery they use or what type of electric they use to give it power and whatever, but always computer needs power to operate. That one thing about it. And also another thing is a device. Like I said, I already talked about that. It's not a machine, it's a device. So understand it, take it into being that it's always a device. And that way sometimes you will see it, it's very tiny. You will be like, "Ah, how can this thing work?" It's working because they did all what they can to make it look that tiny and to do the purpose of what they want it to be. All the chips you are seeing, even the 1 terabyte, the 1 gig, 1 hectabyte, whatever you want to see is just a device, and that device has something in it which is trigger either the electronic in it, or it has the battery that power it, and it's also a device. And also computer always accepts data, or it has data in it. That's one thing about computer. On its own, it will not work. It will not operate. Whatever you see in this world that has to do with computer, there was a data before. Prior to that thing being in operation, there was a data given to it or input in it. So there is always a data that was given to computer. On its own, it cannot do it because it's human being that create it. So there is always a data that was given to it. And that one thing about this issue of data and information, everything you see in this world, everything you see surrounding computer, the end point of it is data. That's the only thing about computer. The end point of everything is data. That's what you need to understand from today when it comes to computer. Everything you see in computer, the end point is data. Everything, even that with the devices we are using, the mobile devices and whatever, everything you are seeing related to computer, it's all goes back to data. So there's always need for data for computer to work. And also the input, that data will be inserted into the computer. It will be imputed into it, and that's how computer operates. Like I told you, it cannot operate on its own. There is need for the data. It requires data. When we give it that data, and it works. Even this self-driving car that you are seeing, data was given to it. All the navigations within the city has been given to that computer, and that's why the computer is processing that navigation that was impute in it, all the maps, all the areas, all the names of the location, the geo coordinates of the location is imputed. It's inserted into the device of that self-driving car. And that's why the self-driving car is operating, and that's why the self-driving car is driving people to wherever they want to go. So this is one thing you need to understand. There is always input to the computer. That's one thing about it. There is always input, something given to it that teach the computer what to do when something happened or when another data entered into it. So this is issue about input. Please, you understand the input. So whenever you see a computer, something was inserted into it. All the watches, the smart watches we are using, the mobile phones we are using, whatever we are using, a data was what inserted into it. It will not just out of the blue it start working. There must be a data that was inserted as an input to that particular device that was created. So another thing is processing. And of course, the computer process the information. Whenever the information is given to it, it processes that information that was given to it. So if you input a data in computer process that data and do whatever it was asked to do. Like, for example, if you create a calculator, 2 plus 2, computer was told that whenever there is this plus this, please give 4. So it will give you 4. It processes it and it give you 4. So that's how computer works. It processes the information given to it, and it was that way when you enter that self-driving car, you give it the location, it will process the location. Okay, you give it number 20, whatever, Guarimpa, whatever, you put the location, it will process the location in it. When it processes the location, then it will start driving you towards that location that it processed. And that will bring us down to the output of the computer. Sometimes computer brings out the output. That is the output of every information. Either the information is given to it or it's receiving, it received that information, or the information is already in it. Sometimes the computer collects the information, then it processes it and it output it. Sometimes the information is in it. All you need is to trigger the information and it will just reveal the information to you. So like I give an example of this self-driving car, all the locations that you know, even those that you don't know, all the geo coordinate within the states or within any country the car is supposed to drive, it has that information already in it. And once somebody stole that information or deleted that information from the computer, even if you put the information in it, it will not work. Computer will not work because the information is already in it. That's one thing about it, number one. And sometimes the information is not in it, but there is algorithm already in it, which teach the computer that when it receives any information, this is how it will process the information. That's one thing about computers sometimes. That's why we have machine learning, teaching machine what human being can do. So we are teaching machine that, okay, this is what human being can do, did when they have this and this and this. So you did this. So exactly when a machine was trained on what human being did with that data. So anytime you get any data or any data given to that machine that is related to the data the machine was teach. So that related to the data that the machine was trained on. So the machine will process the data accordingly, the way it was trained. So this is what brings us to that issue of machine learning that you are seeing. Okay, we know when we say 2 plus 2 is 4. So we train a computer that whenever something plus something was given to you, you add it up. That is, you do addition. Whenever this and this was added together, you did addition. So we teach it 2 plus 2, 4, 3 plus 3, 6, like that. So if you come sometimes and say and tell computer, okay, 100 plus 100, even though computer was never give we never give the computer 100 plus 100, but we teach it that when we say this plus this, just add it and give the answer. We put the total and give the answer. When you say 100 plus 100, computer will give you 200. That because it was teach how to process the information, even though the information is not there already, but it was teach how to, when it receives the information, it will process the information and it will take you to wherever you want to go. And this is another thing, let me say it also. You see this self-driving car, if this self-driving car is like, okay, you have to put the geo coordinate first. When you put the geo coordinate first, then you put where you want to go again, then you ask it to take you there, then it takes you there, then it's something else. That means the information is not there, but there is algorithm that teaches the computer when a geo coordinate was given to it, process the geo coordinate, take yourself to this geo coordinate and drive yourself to there. So all this is how computer operates, and you need to understand that these are the features that whenever you hear a computer, just put it at the back of your mind. These are the things that computer always need for it to work and for it to operate. Electronic is device, data, it needs input, it processes it, and it brings the result as an output or whatever is given to it. And I think we are okay with this. Can we move on, please? Can we move on? Because I believe there is no any questions, so let's move on. Okay, so after this, let's talk about what made up of a computer, how computer comes into being. So there are things that are made up of a computer. We all know that always if there is this, there are things that comes together to maybe uh, bring something into existence. So what made up of a computer? One, we have the hardware. These are the physical components of computer. These are the components, yeah, the software and hardware that I'm going to discuss are the components. So the hardware all the physical components of computer, the hardware of computer, they were used to create a computer. So one needs other to work. And the second part of the computer is the software, and all these are the softwares that we have. So these two components, the hardware and software, are what made up of a computer. And a lot of people will not understand this, especially once they knew you are into computer. They will bring their laptop when maybe someone pour water on it, or maybe someone did something, or their screen has some issues. They will bring their computer to you, thinking that you have the knowledge of hardware, while you only have the knowledge of software. So someone who is into hardware has nothing to do with software. Someone who is software has nothing to do with hardware. That's one thing about computer. And this, even the manufacturing company, there are companies that are only creating the cover of maybe computer. Some are just creating flash, some I'm doing this, and I'm doing that, while others are more into software, are doing this, are doing that, are doing this. So but these are the components that made up of a computer. That is the hardware and the software. The hardware, we have all the disks, the disks, the flash, the hard drive, the CPU, the monitor. We are using that is all the screen, the keyboard. Anything that you can touch in a computer is a what? Is a hardware. Anything that you can touch. While the abstract components of computer are the software, things that you cannot touch. That's why I talk about, if some of you maybe that are following me on Facebook, I discuss about software development. I talk about software development before. You see, if you are developing a website, you are a software developer. If you are developing, some people think when we say software, we're talking about only application. No, when we say software, anything abstract, any abstract component of computer is a what? Is a software. You cannot touch the sound, you cannot touch unless you print image, you cannot touch an image, you cannot touch audio, you cannot touch video, you cannot touch all the software that help in creating such visuals and audios that you are seeing, or audio visuals. All these that you are seeing are what? Are the software of computer. The Facebook, the Gmail, the browsers we are using, everything that you are seeing that you cannot touch, you are only operating it in computer, is a what? Is a software. So this is the hardware and software. So let's talk about the types of software that we have in computer. There are lots of types of this, with which the software are divided into two. So for the purpose of this class, we are going to talk about this, and of course we are going to talk about the software, these types of the software. We are going to discuss about them intensively. We are going to talk about them. So don't worry about it. I will explain it, and we are going to have a practical session on each and every one of them. We have a system software. That's number one type of software that we have. The system software, in other words, you can call them the operating system software. That is, sometimes you will hear it OS, device. You will hear OS, that is operating system. These are the software that computer cannot work without them. These are the types of that we talk about: the Windows, the Linux, the Mac operating system, the Ubuntu. All these are the types that we have. They are the operating system software. That's why they were called system software. Because without them, computer will not work at all. Computer will not work without them. So that's why we have Windows. If your Windows crash, that means everything in your computer will stop working unless you install another software. That is another system software for computer to operate. And the other one that we have is application software. This application software are supportive softwares in the computer. That is maybe the browsers, the video players or audio players, the other softwares that we are using, the Microsoft Word and whatever you are seeing, they are the application softwares, because they are these supportive software in the computer. Without them, computer can operate. Without them, a computer can operate. Even if you don't have Microsoft Word in your computer, you will watch films, of course, or you will do this, you will do that, you will do whatever you want. But a computer must have operating system in it. That is, must have system software installed in it for it to operate. This is the the types of the software that we have. So another thing we are going to talk about is input and output devices. So let's talk about input and output. Devices that input data are input devices. Let me say this in a very plain way so that you'll understand. I will give an example, don't worry. And all the devices that help to bring out data are output devices. Input and output devices confused a lot of people when it comes to asking questions about what are the input and are the output. Any device that you use to input, and when we are talking about device, take note, we are talking about the hardware. So these are the types of hardware. Input and output devices are the types of hardware. So take note on this. They are the type of hardware components of computer. So under these hardwares, we have the hardware that are only used to input data into computer. And we have the hardware that only help to output data out of the computer. And also take note, we have the hybrid devices, the devices that impute and also output data. We have such devices, they are the hybrid. So please take note on that. So any device, take note, ask yourself, are we using this device to input information or to input data in computer? If it is yes, that device is input device. Just ask yourself that question. Okay, this is output. Are we using this device to output any information or any data out of computer, being it sound, being it visual, being it a data, copying it, whatever it is outputting something out of the computer? Yes, then it's output device. That's the end of it. That's the only way to unlock it and to understand it. And for the also hybrid devices that I talk about, you see, these are the devices that they input and they output. That's what they did. They are doing two things. The devices input and the output. I'll give you example of all this, starting from input devices. When we say input, let's take, for example, keyboard. Okay, we use keyboard to type. That is to type text or letters. You see, keyboard that we use to type, we only insert information in the computer by typing in it, because we are not using keyboard to output anything. So that, of course, keyboard is what is input devices, because we use keyboard to input information into the computer. That's one thing, you take it. Another thing for the output, let's take, for example, we can use the monitor also, and we can use the printer. Let's say printer. We use printer to print out information. I don't want to talk about, okay, print is, someone will say, okay, it's only a document that we print out. No, it's a text on the document that we print out. Forget about the paper. We already have our own plain sheet. We put it, but we print out the data, that is that text on the paper. That's what the purpose of printer is, to bring out something, because printer is output. Also, speaker, we use speaker to listen to the sound, because the sound is already in the computer, but we print it out, or we bring it out through what? Through speaker. So for the hybrid, let me give you one example for the hybrid. We have let's say, let me just give you this example. I never give this example to anybody, but I'll give it today. Let's use flash drive. Flash drive is a hybrid device, because we use flash drive to either put something in computer or take something out of computer. Definitely is what is a hybrid. We impute in it, and we also output information out of it. So this is what flash drive did. Also, we also have another thing, is photocopy machine. Of course, photocopy machine is output and input device, a hybrid, because we insert, when we put a paper on it and click that button to photocopy something, what it did, it scanned that thing for us, because scanner is input. But when we bring it out, we print it out, and printer is what is output. And that's why photocopy machine is doing two things: is imputing the information and is outputting the information. I think this is where we're going to stop. Uh, uh, since we have is just few seconds to go, so we'll stop here and you take that break of 5 minutes. Then we resume by 9:45. I'll respond to all your questions. You write your questions if you have. We resume by 9:45 and I'll respond to all your questions and we can call it a day. Okay, now I'll respond to your questions. I'll respond to your question. I will start with the Mustafa Sani. He said that you said that the only thing computer understand is 0 and 1. Please, I need more explanation about that. I don't want to dwell deep in Mr. Musa. I don't want to dwell deep into this because I don't want to confuse you. You are not especially those, it's only those that are computer science student or engineering that understand this and they did this. When I say binary, all of them understand what I mean by binary because it's something that you must learn it in university for you to understand how computer operate. Computer, like I told you, only understand 1 and 0. 1 and 0. It interprets whatever you said into 1 and 0. And there are lots of ways of even unlocking it because computer was teach how to do it. We have different binary codes. We have different of binary codes that we have. But the famous one that I believe most of universities are using is the American Standard Code Information Interchange. That what you will see, ASCII. That's the name of the the codes they use to in order for them to interpret this binary. All these that I'm saying, I believe, like I told you, people that are into this understanding. Each alphabet that you know represent a particular number, and each number that you know has a particular binary. So, for example, now if I said I want to say something, if I said Ahmad, like my name is Ahmad, A is 65 under this American Standard Code Information Interchange that I told you. Is 65. A is 65. H is 104. M is 109. A is 97 and D is 100. That's what it is under binary. That's what it is under this American Standard Code Information Interchange. And this number that this A represents, for example, let me just say 65. This 65 that you are seeing, is also there are different bits that are used also to interpret the binary. There are different bits. That what brings us to this 32-bit, 64-bit that you are seeing. That's what brings us to that. That's what brings us to that. Believe me, I don't want to confuse you, but it's okay, you can do your research, but this is how computer operates. Every information you are seeing, because if I'm to interpret this 65 for you, I'm going to explain how to interpret this 65 also, because this 65 will turn to 10000001. That what 65 is under binary. I think I did a post on this. I don't want to repost what I posted before, but if you check my Facebook down there, I think it's last year, I posted something about this and explain how it is like so you can check and you can do your research and understand that. But that's how computer operate. So I think I did justice to that. So thank you, Mustafa. I don't want us to go deep because we need to talk about the bit, the byte. You know what bit is? So computer started with the bit, with the byte, the KB, the MB, the whatever, that is kilobyte, megabyte, gigabyte, like that. That's how it's continued. It moves. So there are lots into this, but I don't want us to keep doing this. Someone says newcomer. Don't worry, newcomer. I recorded the first class. I will merge it with the second class. You can watch it together. I will post the video in the group, the link to the video. When we are done, I'll put it together. Yeah, so don't worry. You don't know what we discussed. It's okay. I understand you. No, I cannot teach you binary. I'm sorry. I'm not. I cannot teach you binary. I'm sorry. We are not. I'm not, because it's a topic that, of course, it's very easy to learn, I believed. But if I say we are going to discuss it, we will go out of the context of this training. But maybe I will think of it. Maybe free of charge. I will hold maybe 2 days class and teach maybe that binary, especially to computer science students. I will explain how it works, how it is, so that people will understand. But it's very, very easy to understand. So please, if you have any question of what we discussed, especially those that are with us in the first class, please, you can drop your question. I'll respond to that question, and we can call it a day. Yeah, if you have any question, you can ask, especially based on what we discussed today. We discussed about what is computer, how computer operate, what made up of a computer, input, output, software and hardware, types of software. And we discussed about the, like I said, input and output and hybrid also devices. So if you have any question, please drop your question. Unless you don't have any, then we can call it a day, and we meet tomorrow. Do you have any question? Do you have any question? Okay, thank you so much. I think there is no any question. I will put all the videos together. Just give me some hours. But tonight I will drop the link to the videos. Those of you that uh, missed the first class, you can watch it. And if you have any question, I think tomorrow, of course, I'll respond to your question when we are back here. I want to record all the questions. I'm not going to open the group because I want everything to be recorded. So when you missed it, you can watch the video even after the training, and the video will be there, I think, for lifetime and whatever. So let's put, if you have a question, jot it down, and you ask it tomorrow and I'll respond to it. Then everyone will hear about it. Yeah, like I was talking about that. I'm dropping all the link to the video. Everyone will watch what he missed. I will drop the video later. I'll work on how to put the video together now. It's something else, it's another work again. But I will do that. I will put it together and I'll upload it and I will share the link to all of you. Thank you so much. And thank you for listening. Uh, have a nice dream. Good night. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.